Vishnu Paramahamsa Paragaya Asasara Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananti Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem to Guru Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasudeva Gaura Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Shri Radha Krishna Gopi Gopinath Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhana Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai, Mathura Dham Ki Jai, Navadvip Dham Ki Jai, Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai, Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Tulasi Devi Ki Jai, Yamuna Maya Ki Jai, Ganga Maya Ki Jai, Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru Angaranga.
Got the feet.
That's what you were going for? Well, that's clever. That was really clever. I'm not even like, I don't want to admit it, but it was very clever.
Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama, Rama, Hare Hare.
Where is Mother Pugna?
Pugna on there?
I think so. I think his wife is on here. His mom was on here. But sometimes he's on here too. Might be working.
Start introduction prayer. Page 1. Omagana Brahmavasya Jnana Jnana Savakya Chakshurumita Ninatasme Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Mama Vishtam Savitam Nina Kutale Swayam Bhakamadyam Dati Swapapikam. I was born in the darkest ignorance. My spiritual master opened my eyes with the torch of knowledge. I have my respectful obeisances unto him. When Sri Rupa Goswami Prabhupada was established within this material world, mission to fulfill the desire of Lord Krishna, give me shelter under his lotus feet. Vandeham Shridu Shiktapadakam Amalam Shiguna Vaishnamascha Shri Rupa Sagrajatam Sahagana Radhumatvavitam Tasajivam Savitam Sadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishkastam Cha. Offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of my spiritual master, and unto the feet of all Vaishnavas. Offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of Sri Rupa Goswami, along with his elder brother Sanatana Goswami, as well as Raghunath Das and Gopala Bhatta and Sri Jiva Goswami. Offer my respectful obeisances to Lord Sri Krishna, Chaitanya, and Lord Nityananda, along with Vaidya, Acharya, Gadadhar, Shivasa, and other associates. Offer my respectful obeisances to Srimati Radharani and Sri Krishna, along with their associates, Sri Lalita and Vishkasha. E Krishna Karuna Sindhu Bandhu Vigate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namasute. Oh, my dear Krishna, you are the friend of distress and the source of creation. You are the master of the gopis and the lover of Radharani. Offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Tapa Kanchana Karangi Hare Vispan Nevaspare Vispanus Te Deve Kanamame Hare Priye. Off my specs to Radharani, whose bodily complexion is like molten gold, and who is the queen of Vrindavan. You are the daughter of King Vishvanu, and you are very dear to Lord Krishna. Pancha kalpatarvipayascha kripasindirvayascha patitanam pavadvayo vaishnavadvayo namo namah. Ask my respectful obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord, who can fulfill the desires of everyone, just like desire trees, and who are full with passion for the fallen souls. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shri Vasudeva Bhaktivedanta. Offer my obeisances to Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shri Vasa, and all others in line of devotion. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We're continuing on with the introduction of Bhagavad Gita. When we are materially contaminated, we are called conditioned.
Sorry, is this a new paragraph?
Yeah. This is on page 11. Second paragraph in. When we are materially contaminated, we are called conditioned. False consciousness is exhibited under the impression that I am the product of material nature. This is called false ego. One who is absorbed in the thought of bodily conceptions cannot understand the situation. Bhagavad Gita was spoken to liberate one from the bodily conception of life, and Arjuna put himself in this position in order to receive this information from the Lord. One must become free from bodily conceptions of life. That is the primary activity for the transcendentalist. One who wants to become free, who wants to become liberated, must first of all learn that he is not this material body. Mukti, or liberation, means freedom from material consciousness. In Srimad Bhagavatam, also the definition of liberation is given. Mukti means liberation from the contaminated consciousness of this material world and situation in pure consciousness. In situation of pure consciousness. All the instructions of Bhagavad Gita are intended to awaken this pure consciousness of the earth, and therefore we find at the last stage of the Gita's instructions that Krishna is asking Arjuna whether he is now in a purified consciousness. Purified consciousness means acting in accordance with the instructions of the Lord. This is the whole sum of the substance of purified consciousness. Consciousness is already there because we are part and parcel of the Lord. But for us, there is the affinity of being affected by the inferior modes. But the Lord, being the Supreme, is never affected. That is the difference between the Supreme Lord and the conditioned souls. What is this consciousness? This consciousness is I am. Then what am I? In contaminated consciousness, I am means I am the Lord of all I survey. I am the enjoyer. The world revolves because every living being thinks that he is the Lord and creator of the material world. Material consciousness has two psychic divisions. One is that I am the creator, and the other is that I am the enjoyer. But actually, the Supreme Lord is both the creator and the enjoyer. And the living entity, being part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, is neither the creator nor the enjoyer, but a cooperator. He is the created and the enjoyed. For instance, a part of a machine cooperates with the whole machine. A part of the body cooperates with the whole body. The hands, feet, eyes, legs, and so on, all parts of the body. But they are not actually the enjoyers. The stomach is the enjoyer. The legs move, the hands supply food, that the teeth chew, and all parts of the body are engaged in satisfying the stomach, because the stomach is a principal factor that nourishes the body's organization. Therefore, everything is given to the stomach. One nourishes the tree by watering its roots, and one nourishes the body by feeding the stomach. For if the body is to be kept in a healthy state, then the parts of the body must cooperate to feed the stomach. Similarly, the Supreme Lord is the enjoyer and the creator, and we as the subordinate beings are meant to cooperate to satisfy him. This cooperation will actually help us, just as food taken by the stomach will help all the other parts of the body. If the fingers of the hand think that they should take the food themselves instead of giving it to the stomach, then they will be frustrated. The central figure of creation and the end of enjoyment is the Supreme Lord, and the living entities are cooperators. By cooperation, they enjoy. The relation is also like that of the master and the servant. Pretty good. Over the cake. Okay, here's some. We didn't give it all away. It's down for softball. You didn't see it. You need. It was just put down there. That goes quick. Where was I? Where was I, Prabhu?
Enjoyer and the creator.
Enjoyer.
Similarly, the Supreme Lord is the enjoyer and the creator. Middle of the.
Well, you pick up where I'm lost.
It's in the middle of the. Okay. It's in the middle of the paragraph that says, "What is this consciousness?" You might have to go a page before too, if you can't find it.
Just go. Can you start reading, and I'll catch up here.
Okay. And we, as subordinate living beings, are meant to cooperate to satisfy him. This cooperation will actually help us, just as food taken by the stomach will help all other parts of the body. If the fingers of the hand think that they should take the food themselves instead of giving it to the stomach, then they will be frustrated. The central figure of creation and of enjoyment is the Supreme Lord, and the living entities are cooperators. By cooperation, they enjoy. The relation is also like that of the master and the servant. If the master is fully satisfied, then the servant is satisfied. Similarly, the Supreme Lord should be satisfied. Although the tendency to become the creator and the tendency to enjoy the material world are there also in the living entities, because these tendencies are there in the Supreme Lord who has created and manifested in the cosmic world. We shall found it?
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
We shall find, therefore, in the Bhagavad Gita that the complete whole is comprised of the Supreme Controller, the controlled living entities, the cosmic manifestation, eternal time, and karma, or activities, and all these are explained in this text. All these taken completely from the complete whole, and the complete whole is called the Supreme Absolute Truth. Complete whole is the complete absolute truth of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. All manifestations are due to his different energies. He is the complete whole. It is also explained in the Gita that the impersonal Brahman is also subordinate to the complete. Brahma is more explicitly explained in the Brahma Sutra to be like the rays of the sunshine. The impersonal Brahma is the shining rays of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Impersonal Brahma is incomplete realization of the absolute whole. And so, also is the conception of the Paramatma in the 12th chapter. There it shall be seen that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, through Satma, is above both the personal Brahma and the partial realization of Paramatma. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is called Sat Chid Ananda Vigraha. The Brahma Samhita begins in this way: Isvara Parama Krishna Satchit Ananda Vigara Anadir Govinda Sava Karana. Krishna is the cause of all causes. He is the primal cause, and he is the very form of eternal being, knowledge and bliss. Impersonal Brahman realization is the realization of his Sat, being, feature. Paramatma realization is the realization of the Chit, eternal knowledge, feature. The realization of the personality of Godhead, Krishna, is realization of all the transcendental features, Sat, Chit, and Ananda, being, knowledge, and bliss, in complete Vigahara form. People with less intelligence consider the supreme truth to be impersonal, but he is a transcendental person, and this is confirmed in all the Vedic literatures. Ityo Nityam Chaitananam. As we are all individual living beings and have our individuality, supreme absolute truth is also the ultimate issue. A person in realization of the personality of Godhead is realization of all the transcendental features. The complete whole is not formless. If he is formless, or if he is less than any other thing, then he cannot be the complete whole. The complete whole must have everything within our experience and beyond our experience. Otherwise, it cannot be complete. The complete whole, personality Godhead, has immense potencies. How Krishna is acting in different potencies is also explained in the Bhagavad Gita. This phenomenal world, or material world in which we are placed, is also complete in itself because the 24 elements of which this material universe is a temporary manifestation, according to Samkhya philosophy, are completely adjusted. 24 elements of which this material universe is a temporary manifestation, according to Samkhya philosophy, are completely adjusted to produce complete resources which are necessary for the maintenance and subsistence of this universe. There is nothing extraneous, nor is there anything needed. This manifestation has its own time fixed by the energy of the Supreme Whole. And when its time is complete, these temporary manifestations will be annihilated by the complete arrangement of the complete. There is a complete facility for the small complete units, namely the living entities, to realize the complete, and all the sorts of incompleteness are experienced due to the incomplete knowledge of the complete. The Bhagavad Gita contains the complete knowledge of the Vedic wisdom. All Vedic knowledge is infallible, and Hindus accept Vedic knowledge to be complete and infallible. For example, cow dung is the stool of an animal, and according to Smriti, a Vedic injunction, if one touches the stool of an animal, he has to take a bath to purify himself. But in Vedic scriptures, cow dung is considered to be a purifying agent. One might consider this to be contradictory, but it is accepted because it is Vedic injunction, and indeed, by accepting this, one will not commit a mistake. Subsequently, it has been proved by modern science that cow dung contains antiseptic properties, so Vedic knowledge is complete because it is above all doubts and mistakes, and Bhagavad Gita is the essence of all Vedic knowledge. Can you give a microphone? You'd like to do the next part?
Give me a second. Where are we at?
Vedic knowledge is not a question of research. Page 14.
Vedic knowledge. Vedic knowledge is not a question of research. Our research work is imperfect because we are researching things with imperfect senses. We have to accept perfect knowledge which comes down, as is stated in Bhagavad Gita, by the Parampara succession. We have to receive knowledge from the proper source in succession, beginning with the Supreme Spiritual Master, the Lord Himself, and handed down to the succession of spiritual masters. Arjuna, the student who took lessons from Lord Sri Krishna, accepts everything that he said without contradicting him. One is not allowed to accept one portion of Bhagavad Gita and not another. No, we must accept Bhagavad Gita without interpretation, without deletion, and without our own whimsical participation in the matter. The Gita should be taken as the most perfect presentation of Vedic knowledge. Vedic knowledge is received from transcendental sources, and the first words were spoken by the Lord Himself. The words spoken by the Lord are different from the words spoken by a person of the mundane world, who is infected with 4 defects. A mundaner, 1, is sure to commit mistakes, 2, is invariably illusioned, 3, has the tendency to cheat others, and 4, is limited by imperfect senses. With these 4 imperfections, one cannot deliver perfect information of all-pervading knowledge. Is that the second paragraph? Do you want to go?
Would you like to do the next one too?
Sure. Vedic knowledge is not imparted by such defective living entities. It was imparted into the heart of Brahma, the first created living being, and Brahma, in his turn, disseminated this knowledge to his sons and disciples. As he originally received it from the Lord. The Lord is Purna, all perfect, and there is no possibility of his becoming subjected to the laws of material nature. One should therefore be intelligent enough to know that the Lord is the only proprietor of everything in the universe, and that he is the original creator, the creator of Brahma. In the 11th chapter, the Lord is addressed as Pratitamaha, because Brahma is addressed as Pitamaha, the grandfather. And he is the creator of the grandfather. So no one should claim to be the proprietor of anything. One should accept only things which are set aside for him by the Lord as his quota for his maintenance.
There are many examples given of how we are to utilize those things which are set aside for us by the Lord. This is also explained in the Bhagavad Gita. In the beginning, Arjuna decided that he should not fight in the battle of Kurukshetra. This was his own decision. Arjuna told the Lord that it was not possible for him to enjoy the kingdom after killing his own kinsmen. This decision was based on the body because he was thinking that the body was himself and that his bodily relations or expansions were his brothers, nephews, brothers-in-law, grandfathers, and so on.
He asked if he can put the black box in because Maharaja couldn't hear.
Okay.
Oh, right. Bhagavad Gita was spoken by the Lord just to change this view. And at the end, Arjuna decides to fight under the direction of the Lord when he says, Harishi Vachanam Tava, I shall act this world, man is not meant to toil like hogs. He must be intelligent to realize the importance of human life and refuse to act like an ordinary animal. A human being should realize the aim of his life, and this direction is visible abode or ghost, I am the Father of all. Of course, there are all types of living entities according to their various karmas, but here the Lord claims that He is the Father of all of them. Therefore, the Lord descends to reclaim all of these fallen, conditioned souls, to call them back to the Sanatana, eternal sky, so that the Sanatana living entities may regain their eternal Sanatana positions in the eternal association of the Lord. The Lord comes Himself in different incarnations. He sends His confidential servants as sons or as associates or acharyas to reclaim the conditioned souls. Therefore, Sanatana Dharma does not refer to any sectarian process of religion. It is the eternal function of the eternal living entities in relationship with the eternal Supreme Lord. Sanatana Dharma refers, as stated previously, to the eternal occupation of the living entity. Ramanujacharya has explained the word Sanata as that which has neither beginning nor end. So when we speak in the Sanatana Dharma, we must take it for granted on the authority of Sri Ramanujacharya that is neither beginning nor end. Would you like to take the next couple paragraphs?
The English word religion is a little different from Sanatana Dharma. Religion conveys the idea of faith, and faith may change. One may have faith in a particular process, and he may change this faith and adopt another. But Sanatana Dharma refers to that activity which cannot be changed. For instance, liquidity cannot be taken from water, nor can heat be taken from fire. Similarly, the eternal function of the eternal living entity cannot be taken from the living entity. Sanatana Dharma is eternally integral with the living entity. When we speak of Sanatana Dharma, therefore, we must take it for granted on the authority of Sri Ramanujacharya that it has neither beginning nor end. That which has neither end nor beginning must not be sectarian, for it cannot be limited by any boundaries. Yet those belonging to some sectarian faith who wrongly consider the Sanatana Dharma as also sectarian. But if we go deeply into the matter and consider it in the light of modern science, it is possible for us to see that Sanatana Dharma is the business of all the people of the world, nay, of all the living entities of the universe. Non-Sanatana religious faith may have some beginning in the annals of human history, but there is no beginning to the history of Sanatana Dharma, because it remains eternally with the living entities. Insofar as the living entities are concerned, the authoritative Shastras state that the living entity has neither birth nor death. In the Gita, it is stated that the living entity is never born and he never dies. He is eternal and indestructible, and he continues to live after the destruction of his temporary material body. In reference to the concept of Sanatana Dharma, we must try to understand the concept of religion from the Sanskrit root meaning of the word. Dharma refers to that which is constantly existing with a particular object. We conclude that there is heat and light along with the fire. Without heat and light, there is no meaning to the word fire. Similarly, we must discover the essential part of the living being, that part which is his constant companion. That constant companion is his eternal quality, and that eternal quality is his eternal religion. When Sanatana Goswami asked Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu about the swarup of every living being, the Lord replied that the swarup or constitutional position of the living being is the rendering of service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If we analyze the statement of Lord Chaitanya, we can easily see that every living being is constantly engaged in rendering service to another living being. A living being serves other living beings in two capacities. By doing so, the living entity enjoys life. The lower animals serve human beings as servants serve their master. A serves B master, B serves C master, and C serves D master, and so on. Under these circumstances, we can see that one friend serves another friend. The mother serves the son, the wife serves the husband serves the wife, and so on. If we go on searching in the spirit, it will be seen that there is no exception in the society of living beings to the activity of service. The politician presents his manifesto for the public to convince them of his capacity for service. The voters therefore give the politician their valuable votes, thinking that he will render valuable service to society. The shopkeeper serves the customer, and the artisan serves the capitalist. The capitalist serves the family, and the family serves the state in the terms of the eternal capacity of the eternal living being. In this way, we can see that no living being is exempt from rendering service to other living beings. And therefore, we can safely conclude that service is the constant companion of the living being, and that the rendering of service is the eternal religion of the living being.
Yet man professes to belong to a particular type of faith with reference to particular time and circumstance, and thus claims to be a Hindu, Muslim, Christian, Buddhist, or any other sect. Such designations are non-Sanatana Dharma. A Hindu may change his faith, become a Muslim, or a Muslim may change his faith, become a Hindu, or a Christian may change his faith, and so on. But in all circumstances, that change of religious faith does not affect the internal occupation of rendering service to others. The Hindu, Muslim, or Christian, in all circumstances, is a servant of someone. Thus, to profess a particular type of sect is not to profess one's Sanatana Dharma. The rendering service is Sanatana Dharma. Factually, we are related to the Supreme Lord in service. Supreme Lord is the supreme enjoyer, and we living entities are his servitors. We are created for his enjoyment, and if we participate in that internal enjoyment with the Supreme Personality Godhead, we become happy. We cannot become happy otherwise. It is not possible to be happy independently, just as no one part of the body can be happy without cooperating with the stomach. It is not possible for the living entity to be happy without rendering transcendental loving service unto the Supreme Lord. In the Bhagavad Gita, worship of different demigods or rendering service to them is not approved. It is stated in the 7th chapter, 20th verse, Kamayastaya hite agyana prapatayate nayati vata tam tam niyam yamam asyatya parakitya niyata saya. Those whose minds are distorted by material desires surrender unto demigods and follow the particular rules and regulations of worship according to their natures. Bhagavatam 7.20. Here it is plainly said that those who are directly by lust worship the demigods and not the Supreme Lord Krishna. When we mention the name Krishna, we do not refer to any sectarian name. Krishna means the highest pleasure, and it is confirmed that the Supreme Lord is a reservoir or a storehouse of all pleasure. We are all hankering after pleasure. Anandamayo Bayashat, VS 1.1.12. The living entities like the Lord are full of consciousness, and they are after happiness. The Lord is perpetually happy, and if the living entities associate with the Lord, cooperate with him, and take part in his association, then they are also become happy. The Lord descends to this material world to show his pastimes in Vrindavan, which are full of happiness. When Lord Sri Krishna was in Vrindavan, his activities with his cowherd boyfriends, with his damsel friends, and the inhabitants of Vrindavan, and with the cows were all full of happiness. The total population of Vrindavan knew nothing but Krishna. But Lord Krishna even discouraged his father, Nanda Maharaj, from worshiping the demigod Indra because he wanted to establish the fact that people need not worship any demigod. They need only worship the Supreme Lord because their ultimate goal is to return to his abode. The abode of Lord Sri Krishna is described in the Bhagavad Gita, 15th chapter, 16th verse. Natad bharasyate suryo na sanko na pavaka yagatva na nivatatante tad dhamma paramamama. That abode of mine is not illumined by the sun or moon, nor by electricity. Anyone who reaches it never comes back to this material world. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 15, chapter 15, verse 6. This verse gives a description of that eternal sky. Of course, we have a material conception of the sky, and we think of it in relationship to the sun, moon, stars, and so on. But this verse, the Lord states that in the eternal sky there is no need for the sun, nor for the moon, nor for fire, or any kind, because the spiritual sky is already illuminated by the Brahma Jyoti. The rays emanate from the Supreme Lord. We are trying with difficulty to reach other planets, but it is not difficult to understand the abode of the Supreme Lord. This abode is referred to as Goloka, and the Brahma Samhita is beautifully described. Goloka iva nishvastaya Akilatama Uta. The Lord resides eternally in his abode, Goloka. Yet he can be approached from this Anata Vigra.
From this world.
Well, from this world, and to this end, the Lord comes to manifest his real form, Satchid Nata Vigra. When he manifests this form, there is no need for our imagining what he looks like. To discourage such imaginative speculation, he descends and exhibits himself as he is, as Ayama Sundra. Unfortunately, the less intelligent deride him because he comes as one of us and plays with us as a human being. Because of this, we should not consider that the Lord is one of us. It is by his potency that he presents himself in his real form before us and displays his pastimes, which are prototypes of those pastimes found in his abode. Would you like to take the next?
In the effulgent rays of the spiritual sky, there are innumerable planets floating. The Brahma Jyoti emanates from the supreme abode, Krishna Loka, and the Anandamaya Chinmaya planets, which are not material, float in those rays. The Lord says, Natad bhasayate suryo, na shashanko na pavakaha, yadgatva na nivartante, tadtama paramang mama. One who can approach that spiritual sky is not required to descend again to the material sky. In the material sky, even if we approach the highest planet, Brahmaloka, what to speak of the moon, we will find the same conditions of life, namely birth, death, disease, and old age. No planet in the material universe is free from these four principles of material existence. Therefore, the Lord says in Bhagavad Gita, Abrahma bhuvana loka punar avartino arjuna. The mechanical arrangement, the living entities are traveling from one planet to another, not by mechanical arrangement, but by a spiritual process. This is also mentioned. Yanti deva vrta devan, pitrin yanti pitri vrtaha. No mechanical arrangement is necessary if we want interplanetary travel. The Gita instructs, Yanti deva vrta devan. The moon, the sun, and higher planets are called Swarga Loka. There are three different statuses of planets: higher, middle, and lower planetary systems. The Earth belongs to the middle planetary system. Bhagavad Gita informs us how to travel to the higher planetary systems, Devaloka, with a very simple formula. Yanti Deva Vrta Devan. One need only worship the particular demigod of that particular planet, and in that way go to the moon, the sun, or any of the higher planetary systems. Yet Bhagavad Gita does not advise us to go to any of the planets in this material world, because even if we go to Brahmaloka, the highest planet, through some sort of mechanical contrivance, by maybe traveling for 40,000 years, and who would live that long, we will still find the material inconveniences of birth, death, disease, and old age. But one who wants to approach the spiritual sky will not meet with these material inconveniences. Amongst all of the planets in the spiritual sky, there's I lost my place. Amongst all of the planets in the spiritual sky, there is one supreme planet called Goloka Vrindavan, which is the original planet and the abode of the original personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. All of this information is given in Bhagavad Gita, and we are given through its instruction, all of this information is given in Bhagavad Gita, and we are given through its instruction, information how to leave the material world and begin a truly blissful life in the spiritual sky. In the 15th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, the real picture of the material world is given. It is said there, Urdhva Mulam Adas Shakam Ashwatang Prahur Avyayam Chadangsi Yasya Parnani Yastang Veda Savedavit. The Supreme Lord said, there is a banyan tree which has its roots upward and its branches down, and the Vedic hymns are its leaves. One who knows this tree is the knower of the Vedas. Bhagavad Gita 15:1. Here the material world is described as a tree whose roots are upward and branches are below. We have experience of a tree whose roots are upward. If one stands on the bank of a river or any reservoir of water, he can see that the trees reflected in the water are upside down. The branches go downward and the roots upward. Similarly, this material world is a reflection of the spiritual world. The material world is but a shadow of reality. In the shadow there is no reality or substantiality, but from the shadow we can understand that there is substance and reality. In the desert there is no water, but the mirage suggests that there is such a thing as water. In the material world there is no water, there is no happiness, but the real water of actual happiness is there in the spiritual world.
Jai. The Lord suggests that we attain the spiritual world in the following manner. Nirmana Moha Jita Sangha Dosha Arya Atma Nitya Nirvatya Kama Dvarnataver Kupta Sukha Dukkha Samgyanir Agar Gachatati Amuda Buddha Padam Avyayam Tat. That Padam Ayam, or eternal kingdom, can be reached by one who is Nirmana Moha. What does this mean? We are after designations. Actually, that's our time for today. Bhagavad Gita ki jai.